What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Queen Boss Lady, and I'm back to do another testimony for you guys. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Make sure you like, comment, and share because this testimony could help somebody else. It could free somebody else. It could let somebody else know that they're not alone in this situation. Okay? So, I'm gonna be introducing to you guys like how I met my dad and my mom because like I said, I come from a full um family of witches, warlocks, different covens, Eastern Stars, Masons. My family literally has judges, polices, just people they can make phone calls to, but now they need to know, and they probably do understand by now that I have that same reach. I have police officers, I have judges, I have people in high places too. So I want y'all to understand that, all is well. My family, they like to pick and prey on who they think is weak in the family, and there is nothing weak about me because I'm forgiving, because I'm loving, because I'm caring. There's that's not weak traits. You know, those are actually traits of, God. So my aunt was involved in my demise. Everyone in my family, everyone that I can possibly think of, except for, you know, three people. And surprisingly, those three people that know who I am, knew who I was, and had my back and loved and supported me, they're not here with us today. So my aunt played a big role in my situation that I went through within my life. So reportedly, apparently, you know, my mom gave me away when I was a hand baby. I would say about 6 or 8 months old. She gave me away to my Aunt Gloria. So I lived with my Aunt Gloria as a hand baby in Chicago with her and her 7 girls. I made 8. So with living with my Auntie Gloria, it was beautiful. It was bliss. It was love. It was light. It was good energy. I was able to be myself. I grew very healthy. I was very smart. They used to love to see me dance. All of them played a role in, like, because she had 7 girls, so all of them played a role in, like, getting me dressed. One would do my hair, one would iron my clothes, one would put my clothes on. It's like they all um, played a part in, like, making sure I was pretty, making sure it's like they knew what I wanted, like what fitted me. Like I had to have purses, I had to have my little nails painted. I was just like, to me, looking back at the pictures that's like flashing in front of my face right now, it's like I would like light up the room. I would bright up the room. Like I would start the party. My little self, like 4 and 5 years old, like I would be dancing, and I was just so full of life and light and love, and that's what I spread it throughout the house that I was living in with my aunt. Like all my cousins, they loved me. I never got no bad vibes from them. It was never like, oh, we gotta get this little girl ready again. Oh, we gotta iron her clothes. It's like they loved, like I was their little doll. It's like they took so much pride and so much honor in getting me ready and getting, my hair was always beautiful. It's like it matched who I was. Like what they were doing for me, it matched me inside and out. And so one day I want to say I was 5 years old, and now I want to say that my memory is so good to the point where it's scary. I remember everything as a baby, everything as a child. everything. And I'm going to make that clear now, because I'm going to be saying some very graphic things within this testimony that I remember very detailed what happened to me as a child. So I remember there was a few occasions, like maybe one or two, where my aunt did tell me that, I'm not really your mommy, and, your mommy's back in Florida. And I would just shut it down, and I would tell her that's not true. You are my real mom. Like, I used to always tell her, no, you're my real mom. I remember two occasions where my real mom from Florida did call on the phone, and my aunt would try to put me on the phone, and just to hear her voice, it was alarming as a child to my spirit and to my soul. It was very disturbing, just her voice, even though she was talking nice, like all I heard was, hey babe, and I would throw the phone and I would run, and I would not come back into the room. I would go and hide until like she was off the phone with my real mom. I did not want to believe it, and I could not believe it because of the connection that I had with my auntie, and the bond that I had with my auntie, and the love that she had shown me. I did not want to. As a child, it's like I was so, in this stage, I was so happy, and I was very smart and very intelligent. I didn't want that to be disrupted. So, mind you, really and seriously, all I heard was my mom on the phone those two times. And once she wasn't able to get me to get on the phone and conversate with my mom, because I would do the same thing, throw the phone and I would run. Because like I said, even as a child, like her voice, her spirit, it just disturbed me. And my auntie was all I knew. My cousins was all I knew. I did not remember as a baby. I didn't remember my mom love or touch or her holding me or her feeding me or her nurturing me. I did not remember that as a infant, or at this age, I think I'm about 6 years old. I didn't remember that, so there was no reason for me to talk to this woman because there is no bond there. And I knew that at the age of 5. I knew that at the age of 4. So my auntie basically played her role because she basically turned into an evil villain. She had me for up to 5 years and decided to give me back to my mom. So, and this is how she did it. I went to sleep one day. And then I woke up in a strange, deranged house. I woke up in an unfamiliar environment. There was smoke all around my head. I could barely breathe because the smoke, the cigarette smoke was so thick. Now, mind you, my auntie smoked cigarettes too, but she would do it like in the backyard, or she had a window. She would sit at her dining room table and it had a window right there, and she would have the window open so all the smoke would go out. And when I woke up, I was on the sofa was just so, let me close this window. The sofa was just so disturbed, and the sofa was kind of like ranky. Like, I have to describe my experience how it was. Like, I'm not finna hold back or anything like that. So these things that I'm saying, it pretty much is disturbing. But the sofa was stank or whatever. So when I sat up, I didn't recognize anyone that I had known. So I was like, where is my mom? And my mom, I'm going to refer to her as Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson was looking out the window, and she said real, very evilish with a cigarette in her hand. She was like, I am your mama, and she blew the smoke out her face and, you know, just steady gazing out the window. And I just burst out into tears. It's like I went from living in heaven to living in hell real quick with just going to sleep. Now that I'm an adult, I know what they did. They gave me either some melatonin or some grapey grape, and they put my ass on a plane, and you know whatever transpired from there. But still, really don't know because I was heavily medicated, and I don't remember getting from Chicago to Florida. So I just remember busting into tears, crying, and then um, two other kids came from out of the room, which these kids are supposed to be my siblings, which is my sister and my brother. And they was like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? It's like, my sister was saying that she can't stand to hear a child cry. Like it irritates her demons, basically. It irritates her spirit. So she was like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? And I'm steady repeating myself saying that I want my mom, I want my mom. And my mom was like, she don't get it. She don't get it. I am her mom, with an attitude. You know, the first time she said it was evil and demonic. The second time she said it was just even more evil and demonic. Now, mind you, I have never seen my sister before in my life or my brother before in my life. I don't know these people. I don't know this woman that's saying she's my mom, but let me just put myself in their shoes real quick. I would have walked over to me and I would have kneeled down. I would have said, you know, baby, I know that that's where you was and you thought that was your mom, but I'm your mom. I would have, you know, comforted me. I would have held me. I would have, you know, shown some love, some compassion. These people don't have that within them, and I knew that instantly when I met them. And I'm only 5 years old or 6 years old at the time, and they keep asking, what's wrong with her? What's her problem? What's her problem? That's all my sister kept saying. Then my little brother kept saying, man, she ignoring, man, she getting on my nerves, man, she getting on my nerves. Like, what's wrong with me is that I've been with a family for the past 5 years of my life, and then I go to sleep and I wake up around strangers. That's what's wrong. But I didn't say that, but as a child, it's like I knew I was in danger, because it's like my sister was like probably 13 or 12 at the time, and then my brother was like probably 7 or 8 at the time, and they're asking what's wrong with me, like I'm the one with the problem. No, your mother who gave her child away, and now at the 5 years she want her child back, is the one with the problem. But my mother only wanted me back to make me the scapegoat of the family. She was gonna use me and put all of her burdens, all of her generational curses, all of her baggage on me. And my Auntie Gloria knew that, and my Auntie Gloria was okay with it. Like, children suffer differently. Different trauma causes certain things to happen to children. So I remember I could not stop crying. Just me talking about it right now, like my shoulders are all tensed up. But I just couldn't stop crying. I could not gather myself together. I couldn't believe what was going on. I felt like I was in danger. They did not comfort me. They did not try to calm me down. They just kept saying that something is wrong with me because I'm crying. Because they wasn't allowed to cry. They wasn't allowed to have any emotions. They wasn't allowed to be in tune with their emotions. They wasn't allowed to say they were hungry or they were happy or they were sad. They wasn't allowed to do any of those things. They wasn't allowed to show any type of emotions. And I didn't come from that type of, setting. Like, I've been around these people for 5 years. Like, if I fall, they pick me up. They tend to my bobo. If I cry, they what's wrong. So it's like I knew I was in trouble. So then my dad comes over and I'm doing the same thing. It's like I kept going. I kept closing my eyes, right? But I couldn't stop crying. And I would be like, okay, this is just a bad dream. This is just a bad dream. Like, I'm only 5 or 6 years old, y'all, trying to comfort myself. And I was like, this is just a bad dream. If I just go to sleep and then I'll wake up from this bad dream like I know I will. So I closed my eyes but I can't stop crying. I could not stop crying, y'all. I was crying from my soul, y'all. It's like I'm back at that day. So my dad walks in and he says the exact same thing. What's wrong with her? Mind y'all, these are adults that I have never seen before in my life. Like, you gotta understand that my mom gave me away when I was like 6 months old. So I was with my aunt from 6 months old to either 5 years old or 6 years old. 6 years old. I have never been around these people. I don't know these people. They causing hella trauma by trying to act like I'm the one with the problem. As soon as I met these people, they try to act like I'm the one with a problem. It's me. I have a problem. I have an issue. Because they don't want to take accountability for giving their child away. And then the only reason they want me back is to, curse me, do all kind of evil, malicious things to me, and sacrifice me. That's the only reason why they wanted me back. And my auntie knew that. And to make a long story short, my auntie turned out to be evil too. And she turned on me too because that was a part of the plan to have me live in heaven for 5 years, and then now I wake up in hell. Like, my dad did the same thing. What's wrong with her? You need to make her be quiet. You need to make her be quiet. I can't take that crying. I can't take that crying. So he left. He left and he went and got my 2 brothers. He went and got Joe and Jamal. And when he came back, I still, when I felt Joe's energy, I didn't stop crying. I did not stop crying until I felt Jamal's energy. Once I laid eyes on Jamal and we laid eyes on each other, it's like he instantly just calmed me down. Like, he instantly just he comforted me, and he was the only one that comforted me. He was like, it's okay, like, you all right, it's okay, it's all right. Because basically what was happening was I was going into hyperventilation. So I was getting shortness of breath. I couldn't really breathe, and I was, my body started to shut down to the point where, I could no longer sit up. So I was internally, like, just literally making myself sick. By hyperventilating, crying. Mind you, I've never in my 5 or 6 years of living have cried like this, or I've had to cry like this. So it's doing something to my body. It's like it's shutting certain things down within my body. Right when my dad left, though, I'm forgetting an important part. Right when my dad was like, I can't take this crying, and he left out the front door, and I closed my eyes so tight. These people literally hovered over me like they was sucking something from me or stealing something from me. Like, they all hovered over me and just looked at me like this, like, but they would not touch me. They would not hold me. They would not hug me. They would not comfort me. And then when I opened my eyes, they scared the living, and I was like, oh my God, like, I was like, oh my God, mommy, like, I just kept saying, I want my mama, and then they kind of like all linked up at the same time, and they kind of all backed up at the same time. That scared the living, because I already felt like I couldn't trust these people. Soon as I laid eyes on them, I felt like I couldn't trust them. I felt like my life was in danger. I felt like these people was gonna try to have me killed. I felt all of these things and just me waking up in this house and around these people. Now, mind you, the gifts that I have, they kick in heavily once I get around people that mean me no good. And the reason why, you know, these gifts was okay, like when I was in Chicago with my aunt, because I wasn't in any danger, I wasn't in any harm. One time when I was in Chicago, my mom sent magic towards me, and I know that she sent magic towards me because it's something that I normally wouldn't do. Like, I was not a clumsy child. I didn't have the dropsies. I didn't make like certain mistakes. I didn't get into certain chemicals. I wasn't one of those kids. Like, I knew what was bad, I knew what was good, so I stayed away from this and I stayed away from that. But one particular day I was in my aunt, and that's crazy that I have this freaking sitting here. Wow. Okay, let's get into it. Oh my God, that's so good. I have this sitting here. So my aunt has everything like lined up on her dresser. You know how we have our perfume and everything like that. And so she had Visine, and she would always have it on her dresser. And so one day I was just singing, la 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 la, and then it's just like I wasn't even thinking, and I was a child that thinks, you know, and I just grabbed this bottle and I just opened it and I just squeezed it in my eye, y'all. And then I just screamed, you know, and they had to rush me to the hospital, and I believe it was this eye. They had to rush me to the hospital, and, you know, they were just, you know, it happened so quick, but they reacted so quick. They picked me up. She was holding me. She was rocking me. She got me to the emergency room very quick. They were able to, you know, do what they needed to do to get my eye back open and, you know, get all the poison and everything out or whatever. So, you know, of course, she had to notify my mom back in Florida or whatever. So she told my mom what happened, that I accidentally thought this was Visine, and I poured it into my eyes. So, after I cried a full day, and then so my dad comes back and he has my brothers, and that's the only thing that calmed me down, and I was able to, you know, get up and try to use my legs, because I was so upset and I was so disrupted, and this was very traumatizing to me. I couldn't barely even walk. Like, I was shaking. And once again, nobody showed any type of remorse, any type of sympathy. I knew right then and there that I was surrounded by a bunch of demons, a bunch of snakes. And I just was so helpless. I didn't know what to do, y'all. And I remember just him taking me out on the porch. My whole clothes, the beautiful clothes that my auntie had me, the beautiful bows that she had me, wasn't in my hair. My clothes was changed. My clothes was too small for me. They was holy, and my shoes was, and I just was like, I started kind of like freaking out again about the clothes that I had on. It's like I went from they say rags to riches, but I went from like riches to poor. So it was a lot for me to intake as a 6-year-old child. Like, it was too much, and it was very overpowering. But I just remember Jamal just like, you know, walking me out on the front porch and just kind of like, it's gonna be okay, just walk, you know, just like, he was the only one like was able to show me some type of compassion, you know. And it's gonna get emotional, but I'm not, because, you know, that's what they do to anybody that has a heart. In my family, they are malicious. They will destroy you if you have a heart, if you have any emotions, if you have any feelings. So I just remember that happening or whatever. So I feel like I'm missing something, but God is going to take me back to it. So at this time, my mother was a drug addict. She was on crack very bad. She was a thief. Just, you know, and it's like I came back during the summer or something like that. I don't know. Because within 2 days, you know, the police would kick our door in, flip all the furniture over, flip the beds over, make us stand against the wall like we soldiers. And this was new for me. Like, my auntie lived in a good neighborhood, nice neighborhood, just, you know, just to your door being kicked off the hinge and them looking for stolen goods and them finding them, and then you gotta sit there and watch your mom go to jail, and then CPS is called, and then you guys are split up, and then you guys are put back together. And so we went through that plenty of days. There would be days where you know, she would get right out of jail and she wouldn't even come home. We would just be in the house by ourselves. My sister would be watching us. My sister would be taking care of us. My sister would be going to the store and stealing food to, you know, cook for us. And then when my mom would come home, she would have stolen shit. And it was just like a cycle thing. The police come, bus kicking, you know. And then sometimes she would just leave. She would go on her binges, her high binges, and she would be gone for 2 and 3 weeks. And you know, CPS would come. We would run from CPS and hide from CPS, and you know, they would catch one, and then me and my brother would be running through the field. It was like slavery day again, y'all. It was so traumatizing. Like, I didn't know what to do, how to do it, how to survive. It's just like I had been dropped into freaking World War III after living like a princess. You know, it was too much for me. It was overwhelming. I remember one time my mother told me to walk down the street to her friend's house and get a package. She always called everything a package. And she was like, go down the street. She always had a long ass cigarette hanging out her mouth. Go down the street and pick up my package from Miss Fanny. And I remember being scared out of my mind. I had never walked down anywhere by myself, or let alone a street. And I just remember like she only come back to torture me. Like, she never really bothered the other kids. Like, my sister is 13, 14, she's big enough to walk down this street and go get your package, but you're telling your 6-year-old to do it. And I just remember feeling in that moment that my mom was trying to kill me or have me killed. And come to find out, I was always right. So listen to your feelings. If you have that feeling about someone, believe your feelings over theirs. And I just remember walking down the street, and my heart, she literally almost did unalive me, because my heart was pounding out of my little chest through my shirt. Like, I was like, it caused so much anxiety and distress and everything. Like, I'm looking over my shoulder every couple steps I take, feeling like, I felt like my mom was gonna have some estranged car pull up on me and kidnap me. Like, that's what I was feeling. And so I remember, like, you know, get into this. Like, this is your life right now. Survive. And I just started running, and I ran to her friend's house, and a car did come. But I was running so fast, y'all, and I did not look back. I just, like, you know how those baseball players make it to home run? They, like, save. Like, that car did bend the block, and it was creepy looking, and it was creeping, y'all. So I really do think that she tried to have me set up then, and those were my feelings, and those were my thoughts. And like I say, that's how my gifts work. When I get in danger, like, they go to working. And so, wasn't quite aware of my gifts at the time, but I'm glad I was listening to, you know, my angels and my ancestors at such a very young age. And I remember them, my angels and my ancestors, telling me not to go back that same way, to go the back way and just walk through everybody's backyard. You know, at least I'll be seen, at least I'll be accounted for, and it's not on the road, it's on the grass. So that's what I did. I went back the opposite way, and she literally asked me, why did I come back the opposite way? And I told her, because I'm scared. So it was time for school, and I went to school, and I realized that all of this trauma and everything that she had taken me through, it caused me to have a learning disability. My brain literally shut down, and I wasn't able to function like a regular kid. Okay, so I'm gonna get into part 2.